Hi, welcome back to the Power of Model Drawing. Now, today we are going to look at before and after model and mixed topics. What are mixed topics? It means that the problem has ratio, fraction, percentage, all mixed in one problem. Alright, now, I would like to emphasize that for before and after problems, actually there is another method that is actually better, faster, more effective, which is using tabulation, right? Before and after tabulation. But however, right, some schools I think schools always encourage pupils to draw model. So some of the schools, they don't really, they are not quite positive about students using some other methods to draw, to solve the problem. So therefore, I'm still going to draw model for before and after problems so that your child can still understand how to draw, even though there is another method out there which is actually easier. Okay, so you have two kinds of method that can be used to solve before and after. The first one is model, the second one is before and after tabulation. We call it the table method. Okay, but today's lesson is on model drawing, so let's focus on the drawing. Alright, so if your teachers or if your school teacher would like you to draw a model, alright, and not quite, and your teacher doesn't really want you to think or use other methods, then okay, then you should learn how to draw. Okay, so let's look at question 1 and let's see how do we draw out this problem. So every time you have before and after, you always have to ask what is unchanged or everything changes. So in an exhibition hall, the ratio of women to men was 3:8. There were 120 women. Later, some men left the hall. As a result, the ratio of women to the remaining men became 2:1. So how many men left the hall? So what is unchanged? Immediately the women is unchanged because no women left the hall. Okay, so once again, you draw out the first sentence, women to men. So you can use a ratio to draw. So women has 3 boxes and the man has 8 boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so try to draw as proportionally as you can. Okay, but always remember, please do not be a perfectionist. It means that don't get too concerned with the perfectness of your model. Alright, because when you draw model, it's not perfect. Sometimes you may have to make some adjustment. But as long as you label the model clearly, alright, and you draw properly, you should still be able to solve it. Okay, now there were 120 women. So you just put 120. So you draw until here already. Now later some men left the hall, right? So it means the man's rectangle become shorter. So what I've just drawn is the before model. I can actually put the before and the after together as one. Now in some lessons, some of your school lessons, your teacher may separate the model, which is before and then the after model is below. That is also fine. Okay, otherwise you can also actually combine them, right? Combine them and put them together as one model, right? So some men left the hall, and then the ratio of women to the man became 2:1. All right, 2:1. Okay, I think I should break up the model. All right, because this problem looks a little okay. It's not as simple as I think. Okay, so let's break up the model so that so that you can understand better also. Okay, so you have after and women and the men. So the women is unchanged. So you draw out the rectangle for the women first. All right, it's unchanged. And you can see the ratio. The ratio of women to remaining men is 2:1. Okay, I think we should break out the model. All right, I think it's it's clearer if we break up the model. So how many men how many men left the hall? So your question mark will be where? Now, the number of men at first is up to the dotted line. And the number of men in the end is until the dotted line, the second dotted line. In between the two dotted lines is how many more or how many men who left the hall. So that's your question mark. Okay, your model is done. That is how the model looks like. Alright, finish. Okay, now if your model is good, right, even though it's not perfect, you can still get the answer. So how do you get the answer? Now, What is unchanged? The women is unchanged, but can you see the boxes are different? You have 3 boxes of women and 2 boxes of women below, but it's still the same women, same number of women. So can you cut the boxes to have equal boxes? Alright, you can actually do something like this. Now there are 3 boxes of women on top, so you just put 3 and 3. Why Mr. Ong never cuts or didn't cut? Because I don't want to have too many units to count, right? Otherwise you have to count many boxes. And then the women on top here will be 2, 2, and 2, right? So now you can see you have 6 units above and 6 units of women below. Unchanged, same. And do the same for the rest of the model, right? So the man will have 3 units, and in the before model, the man will have every box will be 2 units, right? Okay. Alright, so now can you find how many units left, how many units of men left the hall? So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 units of men at first, and there are now 3 units of men left in the hall, remain in the hall. So you must have 13 units of men who left the hall, right? 13 units of men. Alright, then you look at the model. Can you see the women is 6 unit, which is 120? So your 1 unit is 120 divided by 6, which is 20. So how many men left the hall? Which is 13 units. So 13 times 20, 260 men left the hall. Right, and that's it. You solve the problem, right? Just by looking at the model. Alright, but if you time yourself, you will find that you actually take a longer time to draw the model compared to the other method, which is the table method, right? That will take a much faster time. Okay, but nevertheless, let's go on to the next problem and let's draw out the problem again and then solve later. So now you have percentage. Alright, so 30% of Annie's beads are red while the rest are yellow. She gave away 72 yellow beads and obtained another 128 beads to make to have an equal number of red and yellow beads in the end, right? Equal number in the end. How many red beads did she have at first? So this is a before and after problem. So what is unchanged? Now, she gave away yellow beads, so become lesser. And she got some more, and obtained another 128 beads. Okay, there's a typing error. Right, she gave away 72 yellow beads and obtained another 128 red beads. Okay, red beads. To have equal number of red and yellow. Okay, so what is unchanged? Now, everything has changed. Right, you give away yellow beads, so you have lesser. You take some more red beads, so you have more. And how about the difference? Did you or did she give away equal number of yellow and red? No. Did she obtain equal number of yellow and red? Also don't have. So the difference is unchanged. Everything changed in this problem. Alright, then how do we draw the model? Alright, there's a percentage in the fraction or in the problem. You can make the drawing easier to draw by changing the percentage into fraction, which is 30 over 100 and then 3 over 10. So when you see percentage in the word problems, you can actually change it into fractions. So which means that 3 over 10 of Annie's beads are red. So how do you draw that? So you break up. Annie's beads have altogether 10 boxes, right? And 3 boxes are red. Then how many boxes are yellow? There will be 7 boxes are yellow. So what kind of model do you want to draw? Parts-whole model or comparison model? So it is actually comparison model because it's easier to see. Alright, you're comparing the red and the yellow, right? Especially when you do before and after, you should be drawing comparison model if it's a before and after problem. So your yellow is 7 boxes. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and your red is 3 boxes. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Alright. Now, so like what I said earlier on, sometimes you can combine them together. Right? You can combine the before and after model together. So this is your before model that I've just drawn. Then how do you draw the after model? Now, the after model will be quite easy to draw. Now, the question says that she gave away 72 yellow and took another 128 red. And then what happened? There will be equal number of red and yellow. So just just draw a dotted line, and can you see that she gave away some yellow? So we don't know how she gave away 72 yellow. So let's maybe for example, let's draw a dotted line, and this is your 72 yellow beads that she gave away, and then she obtained some more red. So this is the 128 red, and then what happens? Now you can see that she has equal number of red and yellow, right? So where is the red now? The red will be until the dotted line, and the yellow will now be until the dotted line as well, right? And that's how you get equal number of red and yellow. So dotted lines is used to represent equal, right? Equal concept. So how many red beads did she have at first? So your question mark will be to find this, and your model is done. Okay, a very simple model that is that combines the before and the after together. Alright, so how do we continue with the model? How do we use the model to solve? Now, first of all, where are the units? These are all the units. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course 6, and there's a 7. Alright, there's a 1 unit right there's over there. Okay, now if you notice carefully, how many units are these? Which is 7 minus 3, you get 4 units. And how many is that? Isn't that 128 plus another 72? So your 4 unit is actually 128 plus another 72, right? Okay, so let's write it down, and that will be how many? That will be 200. So your 4 unit is 200, then your 1 unit will be 50. Okay, how many red beads at first? That will be 3 units. So 50 times 3, 150. So you can see that if your model is well done, right, it's done properly, your steps are actually not a lot, right? You can actually have lesser steps, and you can get the answer faster as well. Alright, okay, now let's go to practice problem. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes, alright, to try to draw out this problem, alright, and see whether you can solve. Alright, so your time starts now. Alright, so do you manage to draw out the problem? So Eileen and Felicia had equal number of fashion magazines. So you start with equal number at first. Alan gave away 42. Oh, there's a typing error. It's Eileen, okay? Eileen. So after Eileen gave away 42 of her fashion magazines for recycling, the number of fashion magazines she had left was 7 of the magazines Felicia had. So when you see fractions arrow pointing, so which means that Eileen has 1 box, right? Eileen has 1 box here, and Felicia has 7 boxes. So how many fashion magazines did Eileen, alright, Eileen have at the beginning? Alright, so again it's a before and after. So what is unchanged? Or everything changed? Now Eileen gave away 42, so which means that her magazine become lesser. But did Felicia give away any magazine? No, she didn't. So Felicia's magazine is unchanged. So 1% unchanged. Okay, so how do we draw? Again, draw out the first sentence. Felicia, Eileen. So you have Felicia and Eileen has equal number of magazines. So this is your before model, right? Okay, now Eileen gave away 42 of her magazines. So you cut, alright, cut. How do you want to cut? Okay, 42. Let's cut 42 here. Alright, so now where's the leftover? So Eileen has lesser now. Felicia, no change. Still the same rectangle. So you're until here. Now, and then what happened? After giving 42 magazines, Eileen has 1 box left. Oh, that's a very big box, right? Can you see Eileen has 1 box left that looks quite long. So are you going to erase and redraw again just to make it look shorter or smaller? No need. You just put 1 unit, which is 1 box, and Felicia has 7 boxes, which is 7 units. Okay? So how many fashion magazines did Eileen have in the beginning? So your question mark is over here. So actually this is a very simple problem, right? It's not very hard actually. Okay, and your model is done. Okay, that's how you draw the model. Alright, now can you find how many units did Eileen give away? That will be 6 units. So 6 unit will be 42. So your 1 unit will be 7, right? And then can you find how many magazines did Eileen have at the beginning? So you take 1 unit plus 42. Or, okay, or you can take 1 unit plus 6 unit, also can. And you have 7 units altogether for Eileen. And then 7 unit will be 7 times 7. So Eileen has 49 magazines. Alright, and that's it. Right, a very simple problem. And it's about 3 marks. Okay, 3 marks. So not quite hard to get the answer actually. So that is how model drawing works. Right, regardless of whether the problem is easy or hard or challenging. Now, you should always try to draw the model. Keep drawing the model even for easy problems. Because the more you draw, the better you get. Alright, and then the next time you draw the model, it becomes easier. Alright, and then you are able to visualize a problem more effectively, right? As you keep drawing and drawing, then it's easier to visualize a problem, right? Because you're so used to the drawing, and then what happened? And then the answers will come very fast, right? The steps will come very fast after you look at the model, all right? Okay, so we come to the end of the lesson. So in the next coming lesson, we will continue with different kinds of model drawing. All right, so see you in the next round.